side by side for the lead as they head to the tunnel turn. 19 inside is Briscoe, outside is Stenhouse, and they're stacked up side by side behind them.
Josh Berry getting a challenge by Byron back there.
Eric Jones a part of that group. Chase Elliott back there, and Brad Keselowski.
It's like if you have the inside getting into the tunnel, got a real good shot. Oh, the car's into the wall off of, look at everybody.
It just followed the leader.
They're pushing so hard at this point in the race, and that dirty air, they're just coming off that turn, that wall will sneak right up on you.
I thought Berry and Stenhouse were going to get together going into turn 1.
Stenhouse going to drive across the nose of the 21. Berry to the inside. We're 3 wide. Byron on the inside. Who do you side draft now? And if you're Keselowski, who do you help? He's going with the Ford. It's not going to be beneficial to him. He can't get in there, right? He can't go 3 wide into the tunnel, but he's going to clear the 21. Oh, and that's going to cost him. You can look back at this and go, man, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Now I'm losing spots. Lost a lot of spots right there, about 5 or 6 spots to that 3 wide.
Hamlin, one of those drivers taking advantage. The 11 car back up to 7th in the running order.
Man, Stenhouse, he's just so frustrating for these guys.
We know who Brad's following here. All the way to the bottom, looking for that 17. Chris Buescher, his teammate, the car he owns.
It's just not a good deal for him because look at the ground he loses following that 17 into the corner. I mean, tens of car lengths that he loses, but it does clear the 17. Byron is finally clear of Stenhouse as well as Chase Elliott. Stenhouse back to 5th. Now the 17 of Buescher trying to go take that spot away from the 47. He's got a little bit of a run here down into turn 3.
That blue car that pops out of line, that's 77 of Host car off from pit road. Up 9 spots since the restart. So just proving once again, great speed in that 77. This was shocking.
Yeah, this is just everybody pushing as hard as they can. Chase, a little bit of contact, no big deal. The 1, a little contact. 22 contact, 48-16.
You see Hocevar? I mean, he's the one that always lets it hang out, and he stayed just off the wall as he squeezed it up off of turn 3.
Yeah, he said, I hit that
Oh,
thing
the 5 in the wall right there now.
Again.
Josh Berry, give him some track position, making it work. 2nd behind Briscoe, and the 19 not driving away.
Josh,
on board Hamlin.
Josh is running the fastest lap of the race right there. This track gets faster and faster as we get later in the afternoon.
Well, why do we talk so much about fuel? That fastest lap for Josh Berry was 10 laps on his tires. So those Goodyear tires just hold on for grip.
4 to go on the stage. Here's Hocevar looking for more outside of Logano. What's up, Trevor?
Yeah, guys, we saw the follow the leader off the corner where it gets really flat. You lose all visibility if you can't see around the car in front of you. That's why Briscoe chose the bottom on that last restart. They worked together with Byron and said, I'm just going to go on him. When he gets to me and pushes me, I'm going to take off, knowing that Byron really couldn't see the restart zone that well.
Dale, you talked about that. We were out there in the pace car about how the restart zone, there are a couple marks in the fence, but it's really hard to see on the ground or on the wall.
Yeah, when you're behind all those cars, if you're in the, you know, the 4th, 5th, 6th row or on back, sometimes you can't even see those cones on the fence. You kind of just look in front of you a couple rows and watch the C-post or the roof of the car in front of you move. When they move, you get ready. Here comes the 6th to pit road, going to flip the stage.
Absolutely. Planned pit stop for the 6th, Trevor.
And Brad Keselowski coming down. They recovered well from that penalty earlier. Thankfully, pit road's open this time for these guys. They're going to put 4 tires on a fuel here, flipping the stage, as you mentioned. Also, Eric Jones hitting pit road. He was inside the top 10. Another good run for this Legacy Motor Club Toyota.
Legacy's been great this weekend. We talked about John Hunter Nemechek early and their performance in qualifying. Eric Jones spent a lot of time up in the top 10 or 12, 42 in, making a stop as well.
Yeah, you know, Brad's been very vocal where they're at in the points, way back in the 30s, that it's a must win. That's the path to the playoffs. So no surprise he wasn't concerned about points. Wow, big closing speed for that 21 right there.
2 to go on the stage this time around. We'll close pit road. Briscoe leading. And in line to have a really good points day. Coming nearly 40 points above the cut line. Fourth in that opening stage, got him 7 stage points, and you know, he would show in right now as the race leader, but across the board, regardless of how it plays out, you want to take advantage when you have that opportunity. 19 getting it done this afternoon. And here's Blaney, a penalty car earlier, going for 8th, racing Stenhouse for the position.
Blaney, and then we have Larson behind him, and don't look now, but Hocevar, what a drive by this young man, 22-year-old from the back, up inside the top 15. You know, I just talked about how the tires held on for overall pace. I wonder if the new tires do help you pass, though. Even though they don't go maybe way faster, maybe you can just run lower in the corner, Dale, or give the driver more options. That or this 77 is just a standout race car, combination of both maybe, but he's up 12 already.
I think it absolutely gives you an advantage in dirty air. Oh, look at that 5 car of Larson. I think the 47 might have gotten into the fence off the wall, or off the corner, I'm sorry. I think in traffic, you know, restarts back in the pack, you can be more aggressive, right? And you can take advantage of people who are on older tires, and that's how he's able to gobble up spots early on restarts. Logano to the inside of the 47 now. Stenhouse getting further and further back in traffic. Now we're 3 wide. This 47 car gets harder and harder to drive as you lose more and more track position.
Everybody take a deep breath. Hocevar just drove around Stenhouse. No harm, no foul, and I'm sure he's taking a deep breath as well. Talk about Logano coming by. The same for the 48 of Bowman. Final lap, stage 2. Here he is, Chase Briscoe, having a good day. Qualified good yesterday and paying it off in the race. He's the winner in our second stage. Barry is second. Elliott, Byron, Busher complete the top 5. For Briscoe, it's his first stage victory since 2022. He talks so much about the importance of finishing races. They've been qualifying well, maybe not getting the payoff. Could this afternoon be the day? 2 stages down at Pocono, and pit road will be busy when we come back.
Join the more than 7 million adults, like Michael, who've taken Ozempic.
As touring musicians, my type 2 diabetes could have slowed us down, but I didn't let it. I'm Michael from the Warren Treaty, and this is what my Ozempic era looks like. I'm lowering my A1C and lost some weight, too. I also learned some people take Ozempic to lower the risk of major cardiovascular events like stroke, heart attack, or death. And others take it to lower the risk of worsening chronic kidney disease.
Don't share needles or pens or reuse needles. Don't take if you or your family had MTC, MEN2, or if allergic to it. Stop taking and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck or any of these allergic reactions. Tell your provider if you plan to have surgery or a procedure, are nursing, pregnant, or plan to be. Serious side effects may include inflamed pancreas, gallbladder or severe stomach problems, or changes in vision. Call your prescriber if you have any of these symptoms. Taking with a sulfonylurea or insulin may raise low blood sugar risk. Common side effects include nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, stomach pain, constipation. Some side effects lead to dehydration, which may worsen kidney problems. Discover the GLP-1 with the most FDA-approved uses. Ozempic.
Whoa, who are you guys? I'm you from the past.
And I'm you from the future.
Look, I need a cool outfit for a party.
And I'm looking for a suit for my daughter's wedding.
I might be able to help you fellas out. Life is a journey. Koofandy is the wardrobe that grows with you. Tailored for every milestone. Look your best, dress the win. Koofandy.
Racing isn't just a game. It's a way of life. Every lap, every moment. Practice is about consistency. Winning doesn't come easy.
Yo! My turn, Bubba.
Feel the road. Own the race. Logitech G wheels and pedals available now on Amazon.
Meet the IHOP House Faves value menu. Everything's just $6. Like the Breakfast Faves combo. $6. French toast breakfast, $6. $6 for all this and all that. That's a lot of breakfast for $6. Weekdays at IHOP.
NASCAR on Prime Video is brought to you by AMR. 2 stages down in the Poconos, going to break. I said when we return, pit road could be a busy place. Maybe not the case here. How do you see this playing out, Steve? And we got a handful of them coming down for sure.
Yeah, all the leaders can make it to their final pit window from here. The question is, do you want more fuel on board that could shorten that final pit stop, Trevor?
Yeah, Steve, that's exactly the reason the 24 is hitting pit road now. They feel like this might put them in the window to be able to take 2 tires and gas later on. The only issue on that 24 is the steering rack right now. He feels some issues, Kim.
As you see the 47 on the bottom of your screen, that's Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Last stopped on lap 47. They strung it together to get to the end of the stage, hoping for stage points. Did not net out. They finished that stage in 13th. Ricky said it just was not turning, Marty.
Kim, Daniel Suarez has been hanging in the top 15 today, been struggling with the vibration, especially when he has to turn the car to the right. But Steve, to your point, Matt Swiderski told Suarez this will make our next stop shorter. That's why we're pitting now.
So shorter, but the question is, it's going to be 2-3-ish seconds shorter. If that's under yellow, it could be a lot. If it's under green, do these guys get close enough to the front to take advantage of those 3 seconds? You know, 63 to go. We'll just have to see where the cautions fall.
The games are being played as we get ready for the final stage. Here's Danielle, Carl, and Corey.
Yeah, Chase Briscoe's first stage win with Joe Gibbs Racing. Interesting to see, guys. He only came in 39 points above the cut. He was one of those on the bubble who has yet to win this season, already scored 17 stage points. So a great day so far for Chase Briscoe.
Yeah, a great day for Chase Briscoe, but Letarte just described, you know, really what's happening here is they're setting up for that last pit stop. So the guys that have to spend more time putting fuel in, man, they just got to hope for things to fall their way. It's a strategy game right now. Fortunately, we've got 2 great crew chiefs up there in the booth to describe it to us.
Absolutely. With Dale Jr. and Steve Letarte laying it out for all of us, it's been hard for me to follow as well because you don't really know who is set up the best for that least amount of time on pit road for the last stop. What's impressive to me, though, is Hocevar's ability to drive back through the field. I think they're in a pretty good fuel spot. The 77, man, is strong today, but I would love to see Chase Briscoe try to figure out how to get it.
Yeah, you read my mind about the restart. Hocevar passed something like 13 or 14 cars in a lap. Yeah. So restart takes care of strategy in a number of ways.
We had 4 cautions at stage 2 here at Pocono. That's the most ever in the next gen era, or ties the record, Adam. So we'll see what the final stage brings us. No shortage of action happening this afternoon.
No question, a lot still to come here. Thank you, Danielle. And now time for our Napa know-how moment.
Well, I keep talking about fuel load, right? And I call it the fuel tax because you can kick it down the road just like your taxes, keep it firm. But at some point, you're going to pay Uncle Sam. Well, some point, you're going to pay the fuel tax, which means you have to get fuel in the car. Did you do it now, or will you have to have a longer final stop and do it then?
And if the restarts get more and more crazier toward the end of the race, the best opportunity to get that track position that you need as a driver is to be aggressive when they happen. So, make as much, hay as you can when the restarts happen down into turn 1. And then also, we've seen a lot of brake issues. Who's managing those temperatures? Who's keeping those issues from being a problem for them today? You know that a lot of the drivers are definitely aware of some of the brake issues some of these teams are having.
Well, update on this 45 at 23.11 really quick. 35.23, rotors break, flat tires out of the race. The 45 inspects theirs. They go to the garage. They make repairs, make some brake changes. They must have felt that they were having the same sort of situation. They lose 2 laps. I only say that because they're the only car laps down. A quick yellow, he'll get a free pass. Another quick yellow, he'll back in the lead lap. Dale, you and I talked about this. This is very Formula One-esque. We don't see a lot of, I don't always use the word perfect, but running race cars get pulled off the racetrack to make a mechanical repair. But these long yellows, really a great plan. If this 45 finishes and gets back on the lead lap, heads up at this 45 team. Kim?
Yeah, and you mentioned they saw something they didn't like about the brakes. That came at that caution under lap 78. They looked at it, didn't like what they saw, but I did confirm for the team the rotors were not cracked, the ones that they took off. So they just saw something that indicated it was going the direction that his teammate Bubba Wallace had, but confirmation of no cracks on the rotors.
There's just a lot of adjustments, guys, with brake cooling, and also you can do some stuff internally to the rotor by limiting how much air goes through the vanes. No telling what the 2311 had, but they obviously know what the other 2 cars had and decided to make this change.
It's unprecedented for them to come to pit road or to the garage actually and make some adjustments to that car, but we watched the choose here. Briscoe taking the top of the racetrack, it appears, with the 21 buried to the inside. In that second row, Buescher and Chase Elliott will be key figures on this restart. Buescher in the outside line is sort of forced to follow this 19, push the 19. He cannot move left or right. But the 9 car Chase Elliott can decide if he wants to go 3 wide or stay committed to that 21 of Barry. Trevor.
Yeah, Chase Briscoe last time, guys, took the inside road thinking he could get a good push from the 24, but he almost gave the lead up to the 47, who had 25 more laps on his tires. This time, with Barry being on similar laps, he felt like the outside was his best chance to defend. He's hoping for a good push from that second row, like you guys mentioned.
Yeah, when you pick that outside line, you kind of box in the car behind you. He has no choice. If he can get connected to that rear bumper, you're going to be in good shape heading off down into turn 1. It's much more difficult, I think, for the inside line to get organized, get connected, stay together, and stay committed. It's so tempting for the following car to pull out and go around the lead car and take everybody 3 wide.
Yeah, I think that's fascinating on what we're going to see at the front of the field. Well, further back in the field, what do these cars need? Well, right here, this row, Austin Dillon, Brad Keselowski, they stopped right before the stage. So that fuel tax I mentioned, they have about 15 laps more fuel on board. Why that matters is the final pit stop will be shorter. And further back on board with William Byron, pitted at the stage, so he has the most fuel load. He's all the way back in 23rd. For this strategy to pay off for any of those cars, this restart has to work. They have to go forward. They have to get close enough to have that short pit stop pay dividends.
Want to pay off. Christopher Bell gets the free pass on this, our 6th caution of the afternoon.
Yeah, he's got a little damage to the splitter on this 20 car, so it's going to be tough for him to make up a lot of spots for the rest of the day. But here we go.
Final stage at Pocono, 60 to go. Outside lane, Briscoe, Barry to his left.
Good organization and connection by both lines. That outside line is doing a little bit better. You see they got 3 cars together. Denny Hamlin, the 3rd car, makes the difference.
Briscoe dives out front. Busher coming in the outside lane, trying to get to Barry. Chase Elliott is there, so is Denny Hamlin in the 11. Hamlin and Busher starting to reestablish that track position. Started on the front row today, so good early.
I was wondering when we would see them back to the front of the field. They were controlling this race from the very start. They've finally been able to make that strategy work. Now back in the top 3.
Yep, Hamlin up to 3rd. Elliott trying to get 4th, and he does. Look at Hocevar outside of Logano. Aggression, not a problem here.
We can talk a lot about what the poor 77 driver has done for mistakes, but what cannot be denied is his raw talent to find speed and speed in traffic. Very impressive out of that 77.
He'll go anywhere on the racetrack to do it. Top of 3. There's an opportunity, a lot of grip up there in that 2nd, 3rd groove. Down the back straightaway here. Bowman trying to find a way around this 22. Kind of forced to push him as Logano throws the block.
A lot of give and take for Bowman today. 13th right now.
Hocevar still on the outside of this 22, up out of the tunnel.
Just in front of them, Ryan Preece in the top 10, having a good day. Won a stage last week in Mexico City, did driver 60.
Briscoe up front, being chased down by the 17 of Busher. Busher would love to get this pass made. He doesn't want to get caught up in the dirty air here, but then behind the 19 and allow Denny Hamlin to be able to get up there and challenge him for position. I would say that Busher's sitting here thinking, look, this race is between me and the 11. Keep that 11 behind you. Take this spot from the 19 as soon as you can.
Ryan Blaney out of line, picking up a spot. Recovering from a speeding penalty. 12 car back in the top 5, won this race last year, and here comes Larson in the 5.
Yeah, Barry had a terrible tunnel turn right there. No speed off the corner. He's going to try to stay out here around this 5. They're both up the racetrack. Here comes Cindric to the inside.
Cindric said, thank you very much. 2 for 1. The Deuce comes through and gets it.
Larson tried a slide job right there. Barry was going to stay on his outside. Marty.
Junior, just to remind everyone at home, this is twice now for Ryan Blaney through the field in the 30s into the top 5. And I think teams are going to think about maybe pitting as soon as the window comes open to make it to the end of the race. Remember last year, Jonathan Hassler was willing to gamble on that last caution of the race. Hassler left pit road 4 laps short of fuel, banking on caution. He got those. Blaney won here at Pocono last year.
Rarely can you have track position and be comfortable about your situation. The entire pit road is just so aggressive with their pit calls, which matches the aggression on the racetrack. I mean, the whole fit, it's just take. Pit road, restarts, traffic, everywhere.
Oh, Barry trying to squeeze in front of Preece right there. Barely enough room.
Not sure he heard all clear on the radio, but he made it work.
Yeah, Barry's lost a ton of spots here in the last lap and a half. Trying to make that come to an end. Now he's jumping to the outside of Chastain, can't make it work. And still side by side, the 77-0 and Logano. Here comes Keselowski, 3 wide.
Yeah, now Keselowski had been on the other side of the momentum. Now he takes advantage, goes around Logano and Hocevar. Another Ford that's marching through the field and passing a lot of cars today. Driver 6, Brad Keselowski.
Leading the way with the most fuel. Brad K said it when they made that mishap. They came down a close pit road. Let's just see if the race comes to us. It is slowly coming their direction. Can he stay in touch with the leaders?
You know, when Brad won here in 2011, he was coming off a really bad practice crash and had a busted ankle. So he knows all about dealing with adversity and having success here at Pocono. And coming back today after that miscue when they came down pit road and it was closed. Meanwhile, top of your screen, battle for the lead. Briscoe is got it, but Buescher is right in his hip pocket.
Every year, Chris Buescher just shows up in this summer stretch, I want to say. And it's not even the same style of racetrack. I remember with Michigan last year, it was Watkins Glen. Like, he just, you know, Buescher in this 17 car continue to impress with their variety of speed. You know, we've seen it short tracks, big tracks, road courses.
Got that first career win here in 16. It was the fog out race when they played strategy and it all worked out for him. He wins it today. It's just going to be because they've got an outstanding race car. Qualified on the front row. They've lost track position because of all the various strategies, but there is no doubt about it. One of the best cars here today is that 17. And then back behind him, check out this.
Yeah, the 54 almost wrecks off the nose of the 38. And then that cost the 24 Byron a lot of positions right there through the tunnel.
Yeah, this just kills what the 24 Rudy Fugle was trying to do.
Check. Top of 3.
That was happening outside the top 25. High level of frustration when you can't get where you need to go and you reach the final stage. Just over 50 to go, Trevor.
Yeah, guys, to start this race, the radio conversations were quite different than we normally hear. As soon as the caution would come out, you'd hear drivers just asking their crew chief, what are we going to do here, and not giving many balance updates. Now, with about 10 laps to go, you're starting to hear a lot of feedback from drivers on that balance. The picture's getting much more clear as to what the strategy is going to be, Steve. So does that tunnel vision start to fade off, and you start worrying about the speed of your race car now?
Absolutely, and I would have encouraged my driver. I know they're curious about the strategy, but that's part of your job as a crew chief, to ask the right questions. Hey, this is what we're doing, but what does our car need? Because I'm not sure we're going to get all the right calls, but if we do, let's at least have it drive the best possible when we're out front. These battles up front are just fascinating to me. This 17 now a lane lower in turn 3. He's going to have a little bit of momentum, but can he get the power down? And now here comes the draft. That 17 is just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger off this rear bumper. Here he comes right at the end of the straightaway. It really starts to take hold.
Briscoe running the middle of the racetrack, taking away probably the optimum line for the 17.
We've talked a lot about fuel usage You know, we have the burn bar, we show miles per gallon. The reason I'm not really pointing that out is because this is not as much how much they're using is how much they have on board. I think these guys right here, they're not as concerned about saving gas as they are trying to control this race and try to take the lead if you're Buescher.
Briscoe in charge at Pocono.
Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? There's an O'Reilly Auto Parts. Turn left, Tyler.
Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you don't want to do the repair yourself, we can recommend a shop for you.
Okay, Tyler, let's go fix your car.
Auto Parts.
Did they just hop from a baseball game to a show on Max without leaving DirecTV?
It's like all their apps and channels are connected.
Oh, it's all connected. Shows, movies, sports, cooking shows. Oh my God.
Is she talking to us?
Tell me, how does DirecTV put all your favorite stuff on one home screen? Uncanny content suggestions based on your watch history? Or mind control?
Were you recently electrocuted?
Introducing genre packs starting at $34.99.
Well, I, for one, am intrigued.
At Ford, 80% of the vehicles we sell in America are assembled in America.
What would happen if other car companies did the same?
If they were like us, you'd have up to 15 new plants.
Assembling nearly 4 million vehicles per year.
If they were like us,
they would have said no to the taxpayer bailout and added thousands of American jobs.
Nobody's committed to America like Ford is.
And who benefits from that? You do.
You can run the perfect race.
Denny Hamlin leading the pack on the final lap.
And then, boom.
Oh, Hamlin's hit. Hamlin is out of it.
That's true in racing and life. When debt hits hard, National Debt Relief helps you take control, so you can pay less than you owe in less time than you think. When life wrecks your finances, National Debt Relief helps you get back on track. Visit nationaldebtrelief.com to get started today.
You love our legendary subs, so you'll love our legendary new Doritos Footlong Nachos. Doritos and Subway, two legends come together to...
Legends eating legends. Am I right?
Yes, thank you, Marshawn. Doritos Footlong Nachos. Just $5, only at Subway.
Back at Pocono, now we get today's Credit One Bank ones to watch. Dale, who you got?
I'm going to pick Ryan Blaney. You know, last several laps on the racetrack, one of the top two cars. Came from a speeding penalty that happened earlier in the race, able to drive himself into the top 5. Two-time winner here, including this race last year.
I'm going to take that driver we see right up the hood of Ryan Blaney. That's the 9 of Chase Elliott. I think what was lost with SVG's dominating performance last week was Chase Elliott driving into the podium from outside the top 10 in that final run. This 9 has speed again. He has pulled it off here at Pocono. Maybe today's the day, hanging around in the 4th spot.
Brad Keselowski trying to end a winless streak of 39 races, put himself in the playoffs. He had that miscue, lap 58, coming down pit road when it was closed. He stayed positive on the radio, coached up his group. He said it will come to us, and it has. They're on the plus side of it. When you look at fuel mileage, he's running 9th right now and thinking about career win number 2 here in the Poconos.
47 to go. We expect the fuel window to be around 40, maybe 41, depending on pace. We've heard Marty mention a few times the gamble last year, people pitted before they can make it. Why would you do that? Because if the caution comes out, anybody who still has to pit, you would cycle in front of. I think we're still outside the window at 47 to go, but I don't know, 43, 44, somebody may gamble.
We talk about this 17 car being faster than a 19 and him being stuck behind the 19 in dirty air. That doesn't mean that Briscoe's really slow. He ran the 2nd fastest lap the last time by. So the 19 is a good race car. I think the 17 may be the best car in the field. Just really struggling to be able to put the runs together.
So this is going to sound crazy, but there is a little bit of the crew chief in me that says, hey, Buescher, if you push him down the straightaway and you get offset in the corner and push him down the straightaway, we'll run faster together and just try to gap the cars behind us, because they know that Brad and a couple guys back here are going to have shorter pit stops. I'm sure he would take the lead if he could, but it's not too painful if you guys are trying to get that gap back to Hamlin. So here's your ones to watch. Blaney going right by my guy Chase.
Yeah, what do you know?
Wins the race on top of the pit box. Nostradamus now. He's got it. Man, I love it. I love it.
Dale was first in the draft, right?
Oh,
so, I mean, you get to go first.
None of y'all were going to take Blaney.
I'm going to have to defend him. I wasn't. I didn't have him on my list.
You know, I look at Briscoe up there. He changes organizations. This has not been a good track for him. You look at recent years, last 5 starts here, he had exactly 1 lap turned inside the top 5. Today, he's led the most laps, 35 out front for driver 19, trying to control this thing and win a race, put himself in the playoffs. And if he delivered today, he would join a long line of success for Joe Gibbs Racing at this place. I mean, just look at the last 13 races. Going back to, I think it's 2017, the 7 wins, the pole positions, all the top 5s, laps led, and how good they've been here today. Very impressive, Marty.
Adam, we know these final stops of the day, very critical final stops of the day, are coming up here at Pocono. 45 to go. The drivers know that as well. Just a moment ago, Junior, Denny Hamlin radioed to Chris Gale, and he said, hey, give me a 5-lap heads up when we're coming to pit road. So to that point, how difficult is the pit road entry under green here at Pocono?
Well, it's inviting. It's not that it's difficult. It's actually easy because you can get turned and you have a very long braking zone, straight braking. You can get aggressive. That's the problem with the entry to pit road at Pocono, is drivers can really go after some speed there and try to challenge and close some gaps by driving deep into that braking zone and getting to the pit road. So you'll slide tires. You'll either speed in the first couple of segments because you actually went too fast, or we've actually seen people wreck coming on the pit road trying to get there too quickly.
You know, Junior, we're celebrating the success of Joe Gibbs Racing, and rightfully so. Been so good here today, leading laps, winning stages, got the pole and all of that. But let's go to RFK Racing. We've told the story of Brad Keselowski. We know how good Chris Buescher has been. Ryan Preece has now entered the top 10. So all 3 of their Fords in the top 10. I go back a couple of weeks at Michigan, they were all 3 in the top 10. First time they had done that since 2016. So they are starting to find the sweet spot when it comes to speed here as we head down the stretch of the regular season.
Yeah, it's time to recognize that for sure. They've struggled this year trying to match some of the performance from years ago. And I've been really impressed with this 60 car. You know, you bring in a new car, new team, new people. It's a 3rd car. No other way to look at it. And they're going to be probably, you know, getting some of the 3rd best parts and pieces at times, if not all the time. And they have found a way to make that car competitive. Done a really, really good job with Ryan Preece this year.
Austin Dillon, Ross Chastain exchanging positions here. They're inside the top 15. Nice effort there. Dillon up to 14th as he makes the pass.
He's one of those drivers that flipped stage 2 for some track position.
And I'm telling you guys, if you're one of these pit crew members, this is the moment you're living for, right? You know, you see it. Pit window is open. This is the leading edge of it. I don't know if this is a comfortable spot. Well, there you go. Pit window open. Cindric says, now's the time. Here I go. I'm going to get fresh tires right away. He's going to pit from the 7th position. Let's see how he does and how much fuel they take. That's what's important. They have to be full to get to the finish, Kim.
We talk about being the first to pit last. That's what Brian Wilson wanted. You see that second can going in. Austin said decent here, just a little on the free side, and trying to plug it in as long as possible there on the 2, Marty.
Again, remember Josh Berry was one of those who pitted a little bit earlier when there was a caution, so he knew they had to come before the other cars. But you got to wonder if this is going to bring a lot of other cars down pit road. 48 also on pit road. And Steve, does this open the window for everybody?
I think you have no choice. As soon as you think you can make it, you have to come. You cannot allow the guys to get new tires. There you go. Leader, Briscoe, hard left-hand turn on pit road. Buescher, Hamlin will have to counter next time by. Fresh tires are enough of an advantage. The field's so close, I don't think you can give them an advantage by running long, Trevor.
Yes, sir. This is a final stop for the 19, hitting pit road for that money stop. They wanted to be one of the first to get there. Going to see 4 tires and fuel go on this 19 car. 5 car of Kyle Larson was saving fuel during that run, just trying to manage how much he was burning to make this stop a little bit shorter. Another tool in the toolbox for these drivers to use.
Bottom right, Ryan Preece waiting on fuel. You see that long wait there. You need a little more center turn.
Scheduled green flag pit stops, final stage at Pocono.
I'm going to tell you, unbelievably fast stop for that 19 car. I'm I'm going to say I hope they have enough gas in it. I thought they would have to wait longer. Only 11 seconds on pit road. Now here comes the 24, the 77, Trevor.
24 car just took 2 right sides right there. A short stop for him. Remember, he came down pit road in that last caution.
Chris Buescher now leads the race. Obviously, he's going to have to come down pit road. Denny Hamlin making his stop now, Marty.
That comes with 40 to go. Adam coming down pit road. He said he was really tight in turn 1 for Denny Hamlin. You ride on board with the Logitech onboard camera. Chase Elliott also coming to pit road. He said he lost his front turn at the very end of the run for Chase Elliott, who's been very strong here at Pocono this afternoon. Question is, can they make up time that they were behind the other cars in front of them here on pit road, Kim?
And the one of Ross Chastain waiting on fuel. Tight middle in 1 and 3 drive off needs a little bit. They're going to wait as long as possible, and they get all clear from his crew chief, Marty.
Tim, for a while, Joey Logano was in the top 10 today. Paul Wolf made a strategy play, but then they kind of struggled outside the top 10 on this pass run for Logano. We'll see where this cycles him out. Chris Buescher coming down pit road. He said that last run was a bit frustrating because he could catch the 19 of Chase Briscoe everywhere, but couldn't pay off the pass in turn 2. He has had no complaints about the handling of the 17 car. Now we'll watch to see what Scott Graves does here to make a call in terms of fuel for Chris Buescher, and can he gain that little bit of track position? He was behind the 19, 4 tires for the 17.
Bottom of the screen, on board with Briscoe. I showed you that quick 11-second pit stop. He's at start finish. 17 leading. This won't be close. The 19 will easily clear him on the racetrack and drive off. He will become the leader, but I will tell you, that pit stop for the 19 was shockingly fast at 11 seconds. If this is full, great job of the pit stop. If he didn't need the fuel, then great job by Briscoe, who maybe was saving fuel. This is going to play out in front of us, 38 to go. We still have a few to pit. But Buescher, we saw him wait on fuel, and look at who cycled in front of Buescher, the 11 of Hamlin. So these cars are all assuming they can make it to the finish on fuel. Long run here at Pocono.
And that's the advantage for Denny Hamlin, who was suffering from a little bit of a push in that car before this cycle. He's now in front of the 17. If this comes down to a race between the two, Denny Hamlin's had the adjustment to fix the balance of the car, and now has the track position to take this thing to the finish.
Top 12 yet to make a pit stop here in this final cycle.
So when I was talking about when we look at pit stop times, we're going to assume they needed the same amount of fuel, but just look at this. Briscoe 11.0, Buescher 14.4. Now, look, that's not a mistake for Buescher. That's not like slow tires. That's how much fuel they had to put on. I talk about the fuel tax. This started at lap 0. These guys started counting every quart, every ounce, every gallon all day long. Is this the day the 9 team has out-executed everyone out? That 11 seconds shocked me. What an impressive job, Trevor.
Yeah, you talk about the fuel tax, Steve, but how about the tire tax? The 6 car, Brad Keselowski, talked with Jeremy Bullins and said, I want the tire advantage. We have more fuel right now, but that time of a shorter pit stop isn't as much as I think we can get if we go long and have better tires for the rest of the run. What do you think, Steve?
I think that's their option, right? They made a mistake, Trevor. They came on pit road closed. They just can't raise heads up. They have to do something. They worked on having more fuel on it, and he's out there running 53 6s. I mean, this 6 car has clear track in front, so when you have it, use it, right? Like, this is the absolute goal for the 6, because I think it's their only is the wrong word, but is their best option to win. Remember, a win is the only chance Brad Keselowski makes the playoffs, Marty.
Last year at Pocono, Jonathan Hassler had the winning strategy for Ryan Blaney. He's pitting here with 36 to go. We'll see if this call to run long plays to their benefit as well. We've mentioned Blaney coming through the field twice today. He has done it without the benefit of a cool shirt, Kim. It hasn't worked all day long.
John Hunter Nemechek, bottom of your screen, coming off that great finish with Mexico City, right side only. Looks like we have a caution, though.
In the midst of these stops, we get a caution. 7th of the day. Brad Keselowski scored as the race leader. They had not yet made their pit stop in the green flag cycle.
So now we're just going to have to see so many cars have pitted that we'll see where the 6 cycles back. I think what they would have rather done was pit under green, then the yellow come out, because then he could have kind of cycled out and had fresh tires. Unfortunately for the 6, this yellow, you see the disappointment. The yellow's too early. They needed to make their pit stop first. Let's listen into the 6.
I'm sorry. Every time, man. Just getting clean air.
All right, so let's just review. What they wanted to do is run 5, 6, 7 more laps, come down pit road, then get a caution. Then you have brand new tires. Like I said, you have to gamble anyway. And when you have a mistake by coming down pit road closed, your gamble has to get bigger. You heard the frustration Brad knows from behind the wheel. He knows exactly how this is going to work out.
What about those guys that were just on pit road? I mean, they're making their stops. Caution comes out.
Yeah, we're going to have to see where this all cycles, because you're absolutely right. With the guys on pit road, the blend might be very different. Let's see what happens to the 88.
Just gets loose right there. Out of turn 1, I believe.
Yep, Shane Van Gisbergen, last week's winner, locked into the playoffs, getting the victory at Mexico City, but it gets away from him here. Caution with 35 to go.
So I think, yeah, the question, I guess, is where does Blaney cycle out in all of this? He was on pit road. Looks like he's going to end up coming across finish line in 4th place behind, well, once everybody else comes to pit road, he's behind Briscoe, Hamlin, and Buescher. So kind of a bit of an advantage for the 12, I suppose, to catch that caution when he did.
I mean, looking at our scoring monitor, there are 6 drivers that have not yet made a pit stop. And then 7th, Chase Briscoe, who was leading when the cycle began. He's maintained that position, or he will have done so once everything cycles through and these guys get their pit stop. Hamlin, we talked about jumping in front of Buescher, and then you mentioned Ryan Blaney, who came at lap 124 and was on pit road when the caution came out.
That's why it's important for these guys like Briscoe and, Buescher and Hamlin and Briscoe for, you know, when the caution comes out, stay in the gas, run hard, because, you know, that would have allowed Blaney, I think, to cycle in front of him if they'd have let off the gas and slowed down and allowed the pace car to kind of pick up the field.
Racing at Pocono today, 34 to go. Doing a little drafting next weekend, Friday night, Truck Series racing, a practice rather, for the trucks in Friday evening, and then Friday afternoon, I should say, qualifying for Xfinity cars Friday, then Friday night. We got the Xfinity race on CW, qualifying for Cup teams Friday, Saturday night race for Cup cars as we head over to TNT. The Truck Series racing Saturday afternoon at Lime Rock on FS1.
I tell you what, the guys and the girls, the men and the women down in the race, down in the trucks, they're finding replays, they're digging through radios. We'll check this out, listen into the 19.
Caution, caution, caution. Safe fuel, safe fuel, safe fuel, safe fuel. We are on fuel here, Chase, because we were not ready to leave. So we're just going to have to see how this goes and see if we can make it. Everything you can do to save here, though.
All right, so there you have it. They are not good on fuel. So we talked about the time. Well, let's show you what it looks like. 19 on the left, 11 comes in. Remember, we showed the pit stop times. This isn't old school. This isn't slow pit stops. It's all about the 2 guys with the dump cans. Both right sides look good. They come to the left. Now watch the difference. The 19 is going to drop to Jack, and he goes 11. Wait. The fueler shakes his head. 2.5, 3 seconds worth of fuel. That's the whole situation. Execution, communication. Oh, frustration. You see the body language. So I don't know if it was miscommunicated, if Chase didn't understand what the signal was supposed to be for Chase. Obviously, though, they are not good on fuel. 2.5 seconds should be like 3 gallons. That's like 6 laps. I mean, you see the difference, right? I mean, 11.0 to a 13.3. And that's the whole difference. James Small and Chase Briscoe have had so much speed. He told Carl and Corey on the stage, we just have to execute. And then here we are. Now, look, they may get lucky enough to have enough yellows to connect. Maybe they'll get lucky enough, but it just doesn't look great. Unfortunately for Brad now, he has to come get his fuel, and you see all the cars staying on the racetrack.
Here's Kim.
And Kyle Busch coming in from this stop, saying on the radio, this caution hurt us. They were hoping to play it a little bit differently. Kyle reporting tight all the way through turn 1, slight adjustment. So they'll take tires and put some fuel in. Trevor.
Yeah, 6 car, Jeremy Bolin saying, we're just going to have to eat it here. They debated staying out. They could have gone to a lap 138, but they felt like the risk was too great here to try to catch a caution.
We got a yes, sir, and we got a they're just going to have to eat it. The phrasing for Trevor Bayne, it never disappoints. We return to the green flag in a moment on Prime.
I wish my TV provider let me choose what I pay for.
Sling lets you do that.
I like the sound of that.
Choose and customize your channel lineup or pause and watch for free. Sling lets you do that.
From racetrack to road, Mobil 1 Motor Oils make whatever you drive more beautifully.
Ever since we hired Dale Jr. at IHOP, breakfast has been moving fast.
All right, more plates of pancakes, got to serve, table 3, go, go, go!
Is that Dale Jr.?
Order for catering?
Look, it's
Pancakes!
Dine in.